Remember how I was saying that the meteorites belong to someone's Theoretically, it's not If we want to get to the bottom of this, based on what you've told me... Now, we may not know which mountain this was, but we can safely assume that it's not Dragonspine. Otherwise, someone would have recognized it. Did everyone definitely have the same dream? I need you to find out more details about the sleeper's dreams.
Seems we should head somewhere with lots of people around. That way, we should be able to find more victims to question.
I need to stay in an undisturbed environment, so I will leave the investigating to you.
Is there anywhere that we haven't been to yet?
There is Chinksa village in Liyue. Although it does not usually match your suggestion of... That said, I suspect that the Millilith will have turned that area into a site where victims can receive medical attention.
Look up there! That's the Jade Chamber! This is bad. Paimon's supposed to be your guide, but Paimon doesn't know where the way up to the Jade Chamber is. Well, since we want to go to the Jade Chamber, heading to its location on the map is the sensible thing to do. Let's look around. There has to be a way up there nearby. Hey, look! There's some sort of mechanism thingy. Since this is the right place, it must have something to do with the Jade Chamber. No way! Just trust Paimon's instinct.
Just what will we come across
Huh? It only takes us up to here. Aw, if that wind current was stronger, we'd be able to reach the top in one go. Huh? Why? Or... Oh, Paimon gets it! If it was a secret... Alright, let's follow your plan, then... Oh, hang on a moment. Look down there! Looks like we've gotten close to the Guizhong Ballista. Paimon has a new idea. Why don't we shoot you up to the Jade Chamber using the ballista? to think about the safety. Oh, that's... Now that you mention it, we could use the Guizhong Ballista to see if there's another way up nearby.
Halt! Who trespasses on these hallowed grounds?
Exactly. What are you talking about? We're invited guests. What makes you think you can treat us like... No. Wait. Maybe this was Ningguang's plan all along. She pretended to invite us to the Jade Chamber, but set up a Millilith ambush here to arrest us. Now Paimon's mad! You! Over there! This is a trick, isn't it? How shameless!
What? We're just on guard duty. What do you mean, shameless?
What nonsense! Seize these suspicious intruders at once!
Well, here they come! Line them up and knock!
To arms! Attack!
Stop! What's all this about?
Lady Keqing, these two strange people suddenly appeared. They seem to have designs on the Guizhong Ballista.
Who are you calling strange?
You want to go to the Jade Chamber? Who are you?
We're invited guests, here to look for the Liyue Qixing. Who are you?
Well, as it happens, I am one of the Liyue Qixing.
Who?
I'm Keqing, the Yuheng of the Qixing. I know of you, traveler. You're Ningguang's guests, yes? Didn't expect...
Wow. Paimon didn't think we'd meet
The Guizhong Ballista in Tianheng Pass has long been in disrepair. And yet, it was fixed in a single night. I came here These Millilith are just here to guard the scene, not to arrest anyone.
So this was all a misunderstanding? Paimon never would have thought.
Anyway, for a mortal to be able to repair an Adepti mechanism is quite the mystery, even to the Qixing.
That was... Eh? Oh, right. So, Lady Yuheng, might you have any idea why Lady Tianquan invited...
Just call me Keqing. I'd say that Ningguang's purpose is to request that the savior of Mondstadt take a more neutral stance. Or at least, to not wholly side with the Adepti.
We're not taking sides. We spoke with the Adepti. They want to...
When you say protect, you're referring to their sanctimonious arrogance, aren't you?
Huh?
You are mortals and thus under their protection. There was no way they would have regarded you as someone with the ability to assassinate a god. Naturally, they would also regard Ningguang's locking down the area, questioning the citizenry, and pursuit of the assassin to be pointless work. Perhaps they even wonder if there might be a cover-up. I'll say it like it is. They're underestimating us.
Well, you've got a point there. Still, this is the first time Paimon's seen a person from Liyue who doesn't respect the gods or the Adepti.
Should I respect the shallow sense of time and condescension to mortals that has caused them to delay in moving against us, Qixing? Forget it. I shouldn't speak of them this way. This skepticism is mine alone, and Ningguang does not share it. Either way, I will admit that the actions of the Adepti this time were quite... Rex Lapis's death is indeed an extraordinary circumstance. But to think that they would... How surprisingly civilized of them. Well, for Ningguang, she would talk anything and everything out if she could. The time of the Adepti has long passed. If even the Liyue Qixing don't want to face that truth...
Another super bold...
I'll stop here. Honestly, I hadn't intended to say so much. You should both be off to the Jade Chamber. Don't be late now. Ningguang's schedule... The cream of Liyue's mercantile crop all see it...
Favor? But... Wait, that's right. Greeting gifts are a staple of Liyue's culture.
Alright. You can decide on your greeting gift yourselves. Let me tell you how to... You didn't actually have to come to Mount Tianheng. Go back to Liyue Harbor. Well then. May we meet again, traveler.
Well, that Yuheng may not respect the gods, but Paimon thinks she's a pretty cool person. So, what should we give to Ningguang when we see her? Oh, right! Paimon dreamed of an amazing snack lab. Paimon has a feeling that... Why don't we go with that for a gift? With a certain boom shakalaka, of course. Let's go gather ingredients. Time we... Did you hear that? No! That was definitely someone in trouble. It came from those rooms. Uh-oh. It looks like the treasure hoarders have...
Oh, so sorry.
Thank...
It was nothing.
I understand. Don't worry. I will compensate you both. Don't say that. I only escaped this predicament because of you. I'm Meng Dan, a supplier for Mingxing Jewelry in Liu. I never expected that those treasure hoarders would have their eyes on the same ruins. Is there anything that you lack? Antiques, treasure,
Wait a moment. Actually, we are
Oh? And what might that be?
Do you have a box that can store presents? We'd like a pretty one. The kind that you can use to...
Of course we do. How can one sell antiques without gift boxes? At Mingxing Jewelry... Now just give me a moment.
Great! Paimon sugar frosted slime now comes in a beautiful...
I'll take care of it.
Hey there! A guy called Meng Dan told us that we could get a nice and shiny...
Uncle Meng already told me about it. Many of the best goods in our store were found by Uncle. Here, this container.
Yep. Hang on a moment. Could we borrow one other thing?
Sure, please help yourselves. As
Traveler, this clay pot looks really awesome. If we use an antique as our mixing bowl, we should... It's done!
Oh yes, you might want to use these.
Woohoo! It looks beautiful! Great! Now that we've put all that we've got into this box... According to Kuching, excuse me, do you sell the moon here?
Yes. How many would you like?
It's not convenient to speak of numbers here.
Ah, well said. Please, use this to ascend to the chamber. Yes, speaking of which...
Yep.
And yet the code they used was not the one for guests, but for the yuan. What's going...
I've been waiting for you, returnee from Joyun Karst.
It's Ningguang! Since this is our first meeting, we've prepared a gift. I hope you like it.
Oh, for me. You have my thanks. It seems that I have made things difficult for you, considering that you were supposed to be my... I'm glad you like it. This palace floats in the skies, higher than the peak of any mountain. From this vantage point, one may survey all of Liyue. I have been gathering the funds necessary to build it from the time I began learning. At first, it was but the size of one room. Now, it is large enough to blot out. One day, I believe it will overshadow all 7 nations. Not many from outside Liyue earn the... As such, I have been putting eyes and ears out.
What?
And I finally got wind of your movements when you were on the way to Wangshu Inn.
Wait, was Vergoldet one of your people?
Just Vergoldet? Everyone at Wangshu Inn is one of ours. At the Guizhang Ballista.
You weren't peeking on us from the skies the whole time, were you?
I fear that peeking would have been a little difficult from this altitude. Our eyes and ears are more than sufficient. You two are very interesting people, after all. Well, I wouldn't expect you to trust us, considering that you have had far more interactions with the Adepti. The reason I believe that you've heard of the Archon War. Many gods used to walk this earth, and many long wars were fought between them that did not abate until 2,000 years ago. In the end, only 7 victors remained standing in Tevat. They built cities and nations on the corpses. You can see Goyun Stone Forest from here, I trust. It is no natural rock formation. Though beneath the spears lie those cast down by Rex Lapis in those days, gods that failed to seize. Not only is it true that gods may die, but so too has the membership of the 7 changed over the last 2 millennia. Rex Lapis's passing is an unimaginable disaster for Liyue. Another Lord of Geo will arise sooner or later. Yet, how are we to forget Rex Lapis? When that time comes, even in a new era, the Liyue Qixing remain Rex Lapis's former subject. That day at Yujing Terrace, it was also very sudden. Even I was caught completely off guard. But our enemy has long lain hidden within the harbor. If we do not act against them now, hiding the Exuvia was a necessary—
Who's this enemy you're talking?
What do you think, traveler?
Huh? What are you two talking about?
Well answered. The scenery out here is fine indeed, but the wind is a little strong. Our preparations to receive guests—
Wowee! What a huge hall! Paimon's never seen such a fancy place before.
Be at ease, you two. Make yourselves—
Can we really?
I have invited you two here as friends. And when friends—
Ooh! Isn't this that legend?
Why, you've kept your ear to the ground.
That's because even the storytellers are talking about it. Everyone's after a piece of paper from—
That's because that wall records Leo's secrets. But the secrets of the mercantile world, if possible, I'd like to have you— But if you were to choose the more trustworthy person between myself and Kuching— You'd pick Kuching? I originally thought her a bit too hard-headed. With someone of her character on the Qixing, I've had some extra messes to clean up behind the scenes. But after she said those words, the time of the Adepti has long passed. If even the Liyue Qixing don't want to face that truth, then what future is there for Liyue? Well, I must say that quite a few of my doubts have been dispelled. I won't deny that— Indeed. It seems that you understood what I meant to say. I called for the gag order and for the Exuvia to be hidden to temporarily stabilize the— With Rex Lapis, allowing the rite of parting to take place was also meant to buy some time for us to take control of Liyue's admin—
It's exactly as Zhongli said. The Qixing only provided the venue. Wait, that's right. Speaking of ends, could I say—
Of course.
Paimon's heard that anyone who sends a greeting gift gets a little something in return.
It's all right. I like direct people. Well, we have made quite a bit of trouble for you recently. How about this?
Yay! Paimon was just one of the sheets on that wall. Don't look at Paimon like that. One of these sheets of paper will sell for crazy prices, even if it's only as large as Paimon's fingernail. Just imagine how much more a whole— Let's grab one, the biggest one. that was an easy search. The biggest sheet is right up there in the most obvious spot. La 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 la. Let's see. Huh? There's a place marked with a circle on here. Sigil. Aw, that doesn't sound like... This piece of paper shows that a cheating spy discovered... Oh, Ningguang, but research on the Sigil of Permission? Speaking of which, there's also some connection between you and the Sigil of Permission. Seems there's still more for us to find out. Oh, well, should we not go then? Oh, so you're saying that it's precisely because we can't completely trust Ningguang that we should confirm the truth of what she says for ourselves. That's what... Anyway, we'll see if you're onto something. Before we look for Zhongli at Dihua Mart...
Lady Ningguang looks stunning today. This gives good marketing.
Here. And some stacks of blank paper too. Paimon's seen this pattern before. Oh, Paimon knows. But how did a relic of the... Oh, that talisman's... Maybe the Fatui are copying the... Being able to channel divine power in battle? Whew. And the plot thickens. On the last stop on our rite of parting purpose. Let's go! Paimon hates the...
Right on time. I myself... Did you enjoy your visit to the Jade?
It was so big and
Indeed. It's second to none in all of Liyue. Then you met with Ningguang, I trust? What did...
She's super rich and so generous. Paimon thinks... Yeah, his take on Ningguang is quite different from Paimon's.
Oh. So you also met with Keqing then?
She said the time of the Adepti has...
No respect for the... Indeed, contrary to the ever-bold Keqing, Ningguang is more of a businesswoman at heart. Although she's friendly, there's no way of clearly discerning her true... Yes, she has only relied on herself to rise to her current position. It's said that she's the one behind the constant expansion of the Jade...
The Jade Chamber is only second. What's the most important?
Why, Mora, of course.
All Ningguang talked about was the Fatui this and the Fatui that. She's...
That is how the Fatui have always been. It doesn't No matter what they may be planning, you must be careful when dealing with the...
So, is there anything we need to get for the rite of parting indeed?
Yes, as a matter of fact, there is. Today, we'll be gathering
Glaze lilies. But why did we come... Oh, right! Paimon remembered...
No. Those lilies have all been gardened by people. Dihua Marsh used to be full of glaze lilies. It is a sort of... Before the Archon War, Dihua Marsh was all dry land and fertile soil. Of course, there are some kinds of flowers that have... Wild glaze lilies have the strongest fragrance. But I'll need your assistance in gathering these flowers. No, I need you to sing to them. Singing to the flowers will make them more fragrant.
So how good is your singing? Really? Why doesn't Paimon believe...
We'll only know once he starts singing.
It's time to sing, whenever you're ready.
Da 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 da.
What happened? These flowers are jumping. They're really angry. Those weren't glaze lilies. Glaze lilies wouldn't hit people.
This little monster is known as a whopper flower. Strange. The glaze lilies used as a disguise were buried with the whopper flower for too long.
Well, that's nice and all, but will those...
Unfortunately...
That's so...
Excuse me. Are you searching for glaze...
Oh, hey! It's... What's her face?
Hello, traveler. I'm surprised you still remember my name. Ah, that reminds me. How was your visit to the Jade Chamber?
Well, it sure would have been better if you told us...
Didn't I tell you the way? Surely I...
Nope. We found the way on our own.
Oh, I see. Uh-oh. I guess I really did
Something seems... She's acting different from the first time we met. Where's her serious...
Well, I met you at that time as an emissary of the Tian...
You came all the way out here to see the flowers?
Yujing Terrace is where Rex Lapis parted from this world. If I strolled... Whenever my duties take me near Yujing Terrace these days...
Oh, sorry. We shouldn't have...
No, it's quite all right. When the Archon War came to its end, yes. Now that the spirit of Rex the other 5, including Inazuma's Raiden Shogun, are no longer of the current 7 Archons, the youngest is Sumeru's god of Dendro. He is merely 500 years... This means that Liyue had been under Rex Lapis's rule from the moment it was first founded.
So what do you think of this?
Huh? This... As a mortal, I've never dared to imagine a Liyue without... But as an Adeptus, I think I will eventually come to grip...
Huh? Did you just say...
Yes, I am a mix of human and Qilin. Adeptus, after the war ended, I signed a contract with Rex Lapis and took the position as secretary for the Qixing. Well, let's save that conversation. I also know where
We dare not refuse it.
Oh, so did you sing a song before you picked the lily?
Indeed, I did. I know this tradition well.
Wow, so you really know your stuff?
No, it is you who I should be thanking. If not for this chance meeting, if you would excuse me, I should return to my work now.
And that just about does it. Our preparations for the rite of parting are mostly finished. Given the ease of picking glaze lilies, I think this was a fitting end to our tasks.
Yeah, Paimon can already imagine him starting a business and leaving.
I've had enough ventures in my life already. Beginning a new undertaking is always difficult at first, and requires no small amount, so you must be careful to take the time to step back.
Wow. See? Zhongli sounds like he's already seen it all. Alright, I think it's about time we head... What happened? The city...
Ah, you're the consultant to Wangsheng Funeral Parlor. The Millilith are watching our every move now. These are desperate times.
Desperate times?
The Adepti of Joyun Karst are finally on the move.
Do they intend to
Most likely. I've heard that some members of the Qixing have already gone. However, both sides were quite obstinate.
It seems inevitable, given...
The Adepti do not acknowledge the Qixing. They only acknowledge the contracts of the Geo.
Surely the Liyue Qixing are not the...
Their boneheadedness is known throughout the lands. Yet...
And what now? How is it that the Fatui have come under fire?
That's all Ningguang's doing. She proclaimed that in these tumultuous times, the Millilith must rein in. Only now do they want to start keeping tabs on us? Anyway, Mr. Zhongli, you're one of Child's close associates. Please understand that your actions will reflect on us. Don't...
It looks like things are about to boil over in Liyue Harbor.
Do you intend to use your neutral identity as an intermediary between both sides? Neither path is an easy...
Oh, by the way, Mr. Zhongli, we've heard that the Wangsheng Funeral Parlor has also been caught up in all of this. They're currently squaring off with the authorities.
Things are taking a turn for the worse. I'm afraid I must leave now to handle things back at Wangsheng Funeral Parlor. Consider your next course of action carefully, traveler. If you're trying...
Having connections with the Fatui. So what did Zhongli mean by looking for the fuse? Oh, Paimon gets it. If there's anyone that wants to see the whole city turned up, he must be waiting for the moment when no one is watching. But where could we find him? Where would he go at a time like this? looked impressive enough from the... This is where all of Teyvat's Mora is minted, right? In that case, maybe they won't notice if a few Mora go missing. Oh, so it's a trap! Tricky, but even if we can't, or better yet, take a nap on top of a mountain of Mora, it's like a dream come true. Oh, right, it's quiet. Huh? Look! What happened here? Uh-oh. Paimon, quick! We have to go make sure that the Exuvia is all right.
You've already fulfilled your task as guides, so why do you still linger here? Haven't...
Huh? Who's there?
If you were Fatui, I imagine that you would be entitled to a generous reward from the Tsaritsa herself. But now, you're nothing but dross, and you're in my way. Although I'm deeply grateful to you that I was able to effortlessly find this, don't you think that trying to stop me now, stopping the Mora Mints, hiding away the Exuvia...
So you've been planning to take the Gnosis from inside the Exuvia all...
As one of the 11 Fatui Harbingers, it's my duty to see the will of... She will get that which she desires. I'm not asking for your blessing, and there's nothing you can do to stop me any... The time for discussion and diplomacy has already passed. I mean, if it were up to me, I would have skipped that step. Either way, we now come to my favorite part. A simple the battle.
Battle? So you're the type that goes looking for trouble, huh?
You could... When Signora offended the deities outside the cathedral in Mondstadt, she swiftly left this... Instead of confronting you directly, she chose to rely on the snow and ice to make her escape. She wouldn't want the... When she faces a worthy opponent, she will prioritize her mission, weigh the outcomes. But as for me, the greatest pleasure of being a Harbinger lies in cross...
We won't let what happened in Mondstadt ever happen to...
Oh, so you intend to fight me? Good. Besides, you could never defeat me, not even in your wildest dreams. But hey, try to Fighting talk, I love it! Now let's see you live up to it. This chance is hard to... Not bad. Your swordsmanship is quite impressive. But that's about as far as you'll get. Didn't think you had that card hidden up your sleeve.
You were just playing us to get close to the Exuvia!
Oh, quiet down. Stop acting like some wide-eyed recruit. You've seen this world. You of all people should know. This should have been expected! Well then, I'll be taking Morax's Gnosis now! I see. Well, this is most unexpected. You beat me to it, didn't you?
This is going to cost you!
Well then, time to cool off. It seems the burden of the foul legacy transformation was too great for my body. I lacked the... And now that I consider the matter more carefully, you never had any chance of beating me to the Gnosis. You had no connection to the Gnosis.
That's what we've been trying to tell you!
Your show of ability today far surpasses that of Signora's initial assessment of you in Mondstadt. Tell me, how could that be? You already know the answer, don't you? I can see it in your eyes. But if that is a secret you wish to keep, I guess I'll just have to curb my... This battle has already left me satisfied. Anyone who strives as I do to grow stronger shall be called a friend. Even if our friendship can only be shown in battle.
Pretty sure that's not the normal way to make...
Unfortunately, I must bring this amiable conversation. Given that the Gnosis wasn't taken by anyone, then we must look one... In fact, it might be that the Exuvia was just a
What? So you mean that...
Yes, it appears so. Interesting to say the least. It seems that the guardian deity of the capital of commerce is also... As such, we must now look to our
backup plan?
I had hoped it would never come to this. I absolutely did. The truth is, the world belongs to those of us who desire to become strong. Unfortunately, we cannot be picky about our methods as Fatui Harbingers. Children...
So what are you planning to do?
I will awaken the god that lies dormant beneath Guyan's stone...
A god?
Osial, overlord of the Vortex, who was defeated by Morax, the Geor Archon, and the Archon... If such an ancient god were to be unleashed upon Liyue Harbor, defenseless with... Do you think the cunning Rex Lapis would just stand aloof and watch...
But the Archon War ended 2,000 years ago! How can an...
Simple. I've already prepared the means to awaken it.
Hey! Those are sigils of permission! Oh, Paimon remembers now! The Fatui have been researching them!
Indeed. The one that was given to you was just a byproduct of our research. With the power of so many sigils of permission concentrated in one place, along with that, using the powers of ancient gods and such as... But knowing that such an action will not only force the Geor Archon to show its hand, but you as well. Let's see. Will the nation that has lost its deity be swallowed up by an ancient malice once more? If you wish to drown together with the people of Liyue, you're free to stay and enjoy the show.
Huh? He's already gone! That guy is fast! What's going on? Exhausted. If we hadn't happened to see the Jade Chamber flying over just as we came out of the gulp, Do we make it in time?
What are you doing here?
Huh? Hold on! It's the Adepti! What are you doing on the Jade Chamber? Paimon thought you—
Faced with a calamity of such magnitude, we have a...
Oh, Paimon gets it. So how do you plan to defend Leela? Just seeing this Overlord of the Vortex guy puts a pin in Paimon.
It's not just you. We've got new Millilith recruits who can't even stand at attention without... Which is why we must stop that monster before it gets...
So the Archon War was fought 2,000 years ago against... So will the power of the Qixing...
We've already discussed this together.
What? Wait, all of you were supposed to be the guardian...
One certainly could.
Huh?
The Qixing did once research the matter of the Guizhong Ballista, and as fate would have it, one who did craft the Guizhong Ballista. For what could you mortals ever learn of Adepti mechanisms? Yet, it would take one.
I suppose this is one blessing from the Adepti that we should be thankful for. So be it. We shall use the upgraded Guizhong Ballista to fight off that god. We haven't a moment to spare.
Yep.
Ballista. Do not let the Fatui disturb their work.
All able Millilith, with me!
Let's go help too!
We Adepti have not faced a god in several millennia. Let one see what you're made of then. What strength remains within you? What wishes to witness?
Retribution! Looks like I went too far. Satisfying heat! Eat up! Roasted fry! Feels clogged! An unfortunate fault!
There's...
You can't run! I just can't see it!
That is Osial's divine power. I am... Be careful not to get hit.
Let's dance!
The Fatui! Their attacks are unrelenting!
How daring.
Adepti will be able to deal with the god in peace!
Let the show begin!
The interlopers are no more. Now we may commit ourselves fully.
It's working! We just need to keep this up!
Be careful now.
The Guizhong Ballista is destroyed. Without its covering fire, retaliation shall be difficult.
But the Jade Chamber is our last line of defense. We can't give another inch, no matter what.
I have another idea.
What do you mean, Lady Ningguang?
I'll sacrifice the Jade Chamber.
What is the meaning of this?
I understand.
Traveler, lend me a hand. Farewell, old friend. Goodbye for now. Let us meet again in the future.
Is it finally over?
The ominous aura of that monster has indeed. The effects of the Sigil of Permission last but a short time. It will be some time before the Overlord of the Vortex can make any waves again.
We are indebted to you for your assistance. If the Adepti hadn't happened to be here, the future of Leo...
Save your flattery. We didn't just happen to be here. Surely you won't pretend to have forgotten the reason for which we came.
Come now. There's no need for such harsh words, Cloud Retainer. I've heard that when Ningguang began learning to do business, she had already started. At first, it was only the size of a small room. It is a testament to Ningguang's entire life, both as a businesswoman and as the backbone of the Liu. Seeing the Jade Chamber destroyed in the defense of Liu means much to her. To me, such cooperation and sacrifice...
Well, I was really hoping you would say that such sacrifice could at least be used as some leverage in our negotiations. Thank you all for hearing me out. We know very well why the Adepti came here. 3,700 years. According to... Even to this very day, Liyue and its lands have stood... But that does not mean that the Liyue of today is the same city as it was all those years ago. Do not merely cast your protective gaze upon the land.
Are you questioning our means of protecting Liyue?
I mean no offense. I simply hope that our Adepti forebears would see Liyue in a new light.
Forebears, you say? One doubts you would be fit to be part of such a lineage.
This morning, Rex Lapis appeared to me in a dream.
What?
In the dream, I yearned to tell him that we Qixing, though mortal, are equally bound to the contract. I also thought to tell him how the past generations of Qixing had strove under his... But I dared not speak. I could only gaze at him in silence.
Oh, Ningguang.
Yet another perspective. What are you trying to say, Outlander?
Right! That's something that happened in Mondstadt. It's a story about the Four Winds and the people of the Animal Archon. The Animal Archon sought to quell the strife between the two sides.
Each of the 7 nations has its own scars from the past.
Though your point is the very height of simplicity. As Adepti, we've become a laughingstock, to be chastised thus by an outlander who has lent us such succor.
All right, all right. Didn't Ningguang suggest that we should...
I apologize for appearing in full armor. I am afraid I cannot show the proper courtesies.
And who are you?
I am Feng Yan, a sergeant of the Millilith. I have come to extend... I thought this battle would perhaps be my last, although I am a mere mortal soldier. I promise.
Huh? Why does everyone look so down?
Weren't you frightened, dear? It was quite the prediction.
I wasn't afraid. All the strong Millilith guards were there, and those powerful heroes with their visions were there. Everyone... When danger is near, everyone always protects me. And the rest of the time, they make fun toys and tasty snacks, and thanks for protecting Liyue Harbor. Please, come visit us for the next lantern rite!
Unfortunately, we wouldn't be able to participate.
Huh?
Because we are Adepti.
Oh, okay. It must be hard.
You see, this is what Liyue is like today. The country of contracts is grateful to the Adepti for their protection, but it is no longer necessary for the city to rely on the Adepti's power to solve. Although their blood is weak, there is still strength to be found in those we call mortals. The time of contracts between gods and Liyue has long since passed. Now is the time of contracts between Liyue and its people.
Seeing the port around us now, it is hard not to feel a bit out of place. Wouldn't you say so, Cloud Retainer?
Your line of inquiry is askew. One did not spearhead this expedition to Liyue Harbor.
Seems like the Adepti have had a change of heart.
Let us return now.
Eager to leave, Conqueror of Demons.
Yes, one understands what the Conqueror of Demons means. The city of Liyue. One fears that by the time one finally grasps the new contracts of Liyue, you humans would have once again changed the place beyond. Fair enough. Away we shall, and return whence we came.
Since we Adepti have consensus, then one shall persist no further. But how will we ensure that the Liyue Qixing will not simply exploit their power once we depart? In my...
All right, Mooncarver, you needn't worry. It seems to me that this right of supervision is best left to the people of Liyue.
Looks like the conflict between humans and Adepti was avoided. All's well that oh, right! It's nice that we've got peace. Child wanted to unleash the god so he could lure Rex Lapis out. But we were able to handle the Overlord of the Vortex on our own. Oh, and speaking of that, don't we still need to get to the bottom of that Archon's... Paimon doesn't get it. But isn't the strongest lead we have the Adepti-less rite of parting that we're organizing? No idea where... Zhongli's gone. Let's ask for him at Wangshen Funeral Parlor.
Is there anything I can do for you two?
We've come to see Zhongli. Could you please tell him where he...
Unfortunately, Zhongli isn't here at the moment. It seems he went to Northland Bank.
Doesn't the Northland Bank belong to the Fatui? Last time we saw Zhongli was before we went to the Golden House. Do you think he doesn't know about the attack on Liyue? Visiting the Fatui at a time... We had better go and make sure that everything is...
The key here. Join the Adventurers Guild. You'll have a blast.
I know.
Finally, a seat with a view.
You call this cooperation between Harbingers? Cooperation involves communication, you know.
Don't take it to heart, child. Besides, aren't you happy that you got to skip the formalities and bring chaos to the land? I'm sure you must have enjoyed that. Oh, it seems that some of your friends have arrived.
Hey, it's Zhongli and Child. And... you!
It's you two. I believe we've met once before. In the City of Bards, was it? I'm glad you still remember my name. Ah, right. I imagine that it must have been rather hard to forget watching.
No, don't let her get to you! You've yet to gather the powers of all 7 elements, and our last battle at the Golden House was almost more than you could handle. So it might be best to keep things peaceful this time.
Well, if it isn't you two. This is our first time seeing each other since Liyue was nearly wiped off the map. This is certainly a bit awkward, wouldn't you say?
Paimon knew that we should never have trusted a Fatui Harbinger.
Oh, now don't say that. Sure, I may have misled you, but I never had anything against you personally. Besides, I thought we were getting along quite well together, didn't you? Nothing personal. We just have different views, that's all. The real deceivers here are Senora and Zhongli. Curse them for leading me on. So actually, I think...
Stop wasting time, child. There'll be plenty of... You remember the agreement, Morax. Now, if you would be so kind.
What in the world are you talking about?
The contract is fulfilled. That which thou seek.
How sanctimonious.
What? So you're the Lord of Geo? No, wait! That's an exciting twist and all, but why give the Gnosis to the Fatui?
I do not give it for free. I give it as agreed upon in the contract.
Yeah, you don't think you went a little bit too far with that whole fake
Gathering all the forces that had been bubbling behind the scenes, and then stirring...
Wait, what?
Perhaps it's best that as you know, I've dwelt upon this world for more than 6,000 years. I witnessed even boulders that can withstand whirlpools will erode with the passing of time. Until one drizzly day, as I was strolling along the harbor, I heard a merchant tell one of his workers. I stood motionless among the crowds, asking myself,
Oh, Zhongli.
But as I began to consider relinquishing my divine role, I soon discovered that many reasons was Liyue, the city I had dwelt in for so long, already prepared to enter its next age. So I feigned my own death, and gathered the cast of Child, the Adepti. That's right. Which is why I continued to safeguard the Gnosis until now.
So you mean that if the chaos ever reached the point of no return, you would simply appear and use your divine power?
Of course, and it would have been all too easy for him too. Just as a child quickly matures after losing their parents, so has Lee.
I was pleasantly surprised with the finale of the show that you all put on. Why, you even deserved an encore. The Adepti deserve the greatest applause, considering their years of seclusion. They hardly recognized the city. And hats off to the emissary dispatched by the Cryo-Archon to fulfill our contract, Senora. She managed to keep everything she knew in strict confidence. Far from... All the while, I carried on as Zhongli, and fulfilled the traditions of Liyue in this mortal form. These things were all a part of my script. The only unforeseen plot twist. I had expected them to do no more than the Adepti. To come to the defense, they seized the opportunity to supplant Liyue's divine...
Huh? That doesn't sound good.
On the contrary, I think it is excellent.
Hey, what about me? Doesn't anyone feel the least bit of remorse for deceiving me? You've practically kept me...
I think that thanks would be more appropriate. You certainly played no small part in all of this, wreaking havoc and turning the city upside down. If you hadn't created the pressure of a battle between mortals, Adepti, and a god, the lump of coal resting in the hands of the...
Huh? Just whose side are you on, mocking me like that? Are you itching for a fight? Be that as it may, you've come out of this as the hero of Liyue. I, on the other hand, will be forever prescribed as a disturber.
Well then, with an...
Fine. I'll meet you there later. I'm not sharing a boat with the likes of you.
Do as you wish.
Now then, is there anything else you wish to ask me?
Right! As Zhongli always told us, a good trick...
Realistically speaking.
Huh?
However, I am the god of contracts. My agreement with the Cryo-Archon will be the last of my contracts as for the bargaining chip that the Tsaritsa used, uncover that answer for yourself in your...
Today's the day of the rite of parting. Although the star of the show is fake, we've spent so much time trying to organize it, it would be a real shame not to go there now.
Well, since we're... Oh, God, there's only one real Fatui. Shh, lower your...
You know that god...
Yes, and to think that this happened right on the heels...
Say.
Now that you mention it, it all fits together. That person must... Still, what sort of supernatural prowess?
Ah, forget it. Guessing's no use to us.
Hear ye all! The Qixing's words. Though a dragon soars ageless as the mountains, it too must gods and adepti live glorious lives. But both light and shadow have their season. So rumors and hearsay abound on the streets that having been thwarted in his trial, Rex Lapis's soul has recouped the celestial heights. He beseeches the people of Liyue, nor are they to believe street-born rumors or indulge in baseless speculation.
Paimon needs a translation on what the Qixing's announcement said. So that's how there's... Something feels off. Why would they suddenly give up looking for the murderer? Not to mention how this could the Qixing already have known? Did Zhongli tell them in secret? Exactly, right? Look, it's Ningguang and Keqing. Are they saying...
As said previously,
3,700 years of contracts burnt.
we, the people of Liyue, were indeed prosperous.
The long, unending dream of our...
Now that we have awoken from our dream, will you stand with us as we
So concludes the words of Her Eminence the Does Her Eminence the Yuheng have anything...
Huh? Is she looking this way?
Traveler.
Yikes! She really is looking our way.
Is that the traveler who they say defeated the ancient god?
So young. The Liyue Qixing always repay their debts. And as you have heard, name your price. You deserve that much.
Whoa.
Well, could you help me put up some missing person posters?
But it seems as if those... well...
As for the mortal...
Roping you in was possibly the most masterful move we...
And here you are looking...
Why would I not feel more at ease after Right, if the two of you can spare the time, I should treat you to a meal at the Shin...
Ha! That sounds like big talk, Zhongli. Paimon might have believed you if you were treating us to some
You're right. I do lack the Mora. As the Rex Lapis Morax, I can easily create Mora. But since I have chosen to walk this earth as when I was journeying with you, though I still had the Gnosis in hand, I knew that I must soon retire from my role as an...
Oh, no wonder! But since you weren't used to not being able to just make more Mora as...
Well, we were only spending Fatui money. In the City of Commerce, we do not merely exchange money or goods. The Archon Morax could never experience life as the... I must thank you for that. I will treasure the memories that I made as Zhongli, traveling the streets of Liyue. That is true. But there is no journey that does not end. No meetings with...
Paimon thinks that we should make a move and continue our search for this.
I fear that continuing your journey may be difficult. The nation that neighbors Liyue by sea, Inazuma, is presently closed. The Electro-Archon Ball. And just as the people of Liyue prefer to call me Rex Lapis, she too goes by another name among locals in Inazuma.
Paimon thinks we've heard that one before. Raiden?
That is the case. And since Raiden is also the shogun of the Inazuma Bakufu, people call her...
That said, though people at the wharf were saying that the situation in Zhongli, since you're Rex Lapis, shouldn't you know something about what's happening there?
It's because of visions.
Visions?
When faced with circumstances beyond their control, humans often bemoan their lack of power. But if a person shows true strength of will at a desperate and fateful moment in their life, the gods will look upon them with... This is what visions are. Magical foci bestowed upon those who have been acknowledged by the gods.
That's how people in Teyvat see it.
But starting from last year, the Raiden Shogun began promulgating the Vision Hunt Decree.
Vision Hunt Decree?
Yes. It was an order to seize all visions within Inazuma's borders, and to inlay them upon the hands of a statue of the 1,000-armed, 100-eyed god.
They want to seize visions. But why? Aren't visions blessings from the god?
I should think that in the Raiden Shogun's...
Whoa!
The Anemo Archon is the god of freedom, and the Geo Archon is the god of contracts. For her part, the Raiden Shogun is the god of eternity. It seems as though she has finally the fact that even I, the oldest of the seven, have now passed away, will only strengthen her resolve to pursue eternity. Knowing her, she must have again quoted that adage she is most fond of, 7 ideals for 7 gods, and of these, eternity is near it. All right then. Was there anything else you wish to know? That was a good one. Failing a divine trial. How they came up with that excuse, I will never know. That said, I hinted as much to the Adepti as well. How did I accomplish that, you ask? All right then. Was there anything else you wish to know? Well then, I suppose you'll have to find a way to get inside this closed nation.